for today's cup of coffee. This is another what the fuck file. Because we're living in a what the fuck world right now.
This is a story of what? Non-farmers?
No, not even that. It's something they may have a harder time understanding it. But
I don't.
I have a hard time understanding.
This is an odd case.
It is
of I don't understand how this happened.
Well, this is.
He lost. He got in a fight, and it didn't quite end well.
Well, it really wasn't a fight, and it wasn't a fair fight.
Yeah.
We're going. You trying to tell the end before we started the prelude?
No, it's called reading the back of the box.
Oh, good
before
God.
Watching the movie.
Anyhow, from Daily Mail. This is what happens when I tell him what we're going to report on. This is why I usually don't tell him what we're going to report on. Anyhow, this is by Chris Jewers, February the 16th of 2023. An inquest in Ireland has been heard about a grandfather who was killed by his violent chicken that had previously attacked a child. Wrap your head around that. We'll pause just for people to get that. Yeah. And it says that this gentleman who was living in Ballinsloe at the time, his name was Jasper Krause, was killed on April the 28th last year after he was attacked by a Brahma chicken. The 67-year-old Dutchman, formerly from The Hague in the Netherlands, suffered a heart attack after the bird drove its spur into his leg, causing him to lose liters of blood.
Liters?
That's what it says here. And it says police officers and
a lot of blood.
And his daughter Virginia Gwynnon found Mr. Krause lying in a pool of blood from the wound on the back of his leg. His lodger said that he was able to whisper the word rooster as he lost and regained consciousness.
Rooster.
That's like Rosebud. Oh God, it's like
That's like SpongeBob.
And
ripped pants.
Yes. It says paramedics performed CPR on the victim, but their efforts were unsuccessful. And Corey O'Keefe, who had been living with Mr. Krause for 2 years and looked after the animals, had just returned home from night shift at 8 a.m. Before heading to bed, he fed the animals and greeted Mr. Krause. Not long after, it was reported, the tenant was awakened by the Dutchman shouting, "Come quick!" Mr. O'Keefe performed CPR for 25 minutes on the victim before the ambulance arrived, and he contacted Ms. Gwen, who again is Mr. Krause's daughter.
They didn't think to add pressure to the wound. They didn't think to try to wrap it. Nothing.
I think so. It doesn't say anything about anybody trying those measures.
Y'all do know that was preventable, right?
Speaking of the
that was 100% preventable.
Yeah, Mr. O'Keefe also said that blood was coming out of Mr. Krause's leg and that he noticed a large wound in the man's calf and scratches on his other leg. You're absolutely right. You truly, truly are. I didn't think about it until you said that. He eventually lost so much blood that he suffered a heart attack. Dr. Annette Jennings said the circumstances around the man's death were unusual on account of the wound being inflicted by a chicken.
He gave up to a fight. He gave up a fight to a chicken. A damn rooster.
It's Dr. Ramadan Shatwan, who carried out an autopsy on Mr. Krause, said that the victim's face was covered in dried blood, but that no cuts on his face were found. He also told the inquest that his lower limbs were covered in dried blood. So he must, there's blood slinging everywhere there.
Y'all didn't think to once run to, like, cover or nothing? Y'all didn't even think to kick the chicken?
Well, the chicken was gone by that point. And the cause of death was due to lethal cardiac issues, which I'm not even going to go into. There's specific. You can read the article and get the specific.
This was a preventable cause.
You're right. It says that Ms. Gwen, the bereaved daughter, said that she knew the chicken was the culprit because it had previously attacked her daughter. She told the inquest that she had wanted to get rid of the chicken, but that her father, who was a big animal lover, wanted to keep it. And at the time of the attack, Mr. Krause had been outside visiting his dog's grave.
You can be an animal lover and still have some fucking sense.
You would think. And Ms. Gwen has used the inquest as an opportunity to warn others of the dangers of owning chickens, even breeds that are considered safe, such as the Brahma. Mr. Krause is thought to be one of the few people in the world to die in such a way.
What this is a way for people to be like, oh, chickens are dangerous. Don't raise chickens.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what this is.
Yeah. I think most people...
This hurts.
I know, it makes your hair hurt.
That's... Oh. I played chicken with a chicken.
Yes, you did. We had a little baby rooster.
I could have got hurt bad.
Sure you could have. Now, most people, when you've got some of the fighting roosters and stuff, and I'm hoping that is something that is no longer a thing, but I think in certain cultures it is still a thing. But they have these spurs on the back of their legs. That's what they call them. And they are, really hard, and they can do a lot of damage, as evidenced by one chicken enters the ring, two chicken enter the ring, and one leaves. So... But yeah, a kid was 2 or 3 years old, and we had got a baby rooster, and we were really concerned that it was going to attack him, but the chicken would chase him, and he would chase the rooster. I mean, that was it. That was their game. Some people will actually cut the spurs off the back of the chickens. Baby roosters are not good for much of anything. They're these little scrawny things. Yeah, they ain't no meat to them. It just...
They're there to fertilize the eggs, and that's pretty much it.
That's it. But you're absolutely right when you're like, hell, why didn't somebody think to apply direct pressure? They just let the man bleed out.
That is literally first aid.
Yeah. Yeah.
First aid. Did neither one of them? No first aid? Basic first aid. Yeah. Band-aid.
Well, you get a clean towel or something like that.
You get a wrap.
Apply
something.
Direct pressure until,
A tourniquet. You make a tourniquet out of something.
You don't have to do a tourniquet. You can tie
That's a severe case.
Yeah, tourniquet, because you can cause somebody to have an amputation if you do it wrong.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, so. But direct pressure. Take a basic first aid class. Everybody. That should be required in schools, in elementary schools, instead of some of this bullshit that they're trying to teach these kids that has no practical application. Teach them basic first aid. Yeah. But I come from an era where we still had some common sense. But that was one of the things I tried to teach y'all. Back in the day when Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts were still what they were supposed to be, they taught these kids first aid. But apparently, God love him, death by chicken. Yeah.
That hurts.
Yeah.
That makes my hair hurt.
That's why it's a what the fuck
That makes
file.
my hair hurt.
That's why it's a what the fuck file. Now, I understand about... about caring about animals. I do. But anytime that you have an aggressive
Did he not
animal,
fight back? He must have not fought back.
Well, no,
if he
I
was
mean-
if he was beat up that bad.
well, it caught him on the calf of the leg. And so it just spurred him real bad. And it must have been a hell of a wound. And it didn't say anything about the man being on blood thinners, but maybe he was. Because the femoral artery is up in your groin area, so it wasn't any place like that. So that would have, it looks like the blood would have clotted on its own after a certain period of time. So he must have been on some kind of blood thinner to where they couldn't, where the blood didn't clot properly.
Must have been.
People trying to have their coffee in here. But this is just shop talk with us, so. But it was bizarre.
Death by chicken.
Yeah.
Death by rooster.
Somebody let a chicken kill him. Yeah. And I'm sorry for the family. But his daughter needs to understand that dude had some responsibility also.
You both did.
And for her to warn people about chickens.
You need to warn people about using basic first aid.
Mm-hmm. Now, for people who have never been around chickens and things like that, any kind of animal, it is not like this shit that you see on TikTok. All these cute little whatevers it is. No, animals have their own defenses for the most part. And it's just like a hen will flog the hell out of you if you're messing with the chicks. You expect it. You just go on. You cover your face and your head so she's not up there scratching you, where you're not sustaining bad wounds. If you do have the Baney roosters or something like that. Other animals, other farm animals and stuff. It's like these people that have some of these dogs. And I can't tell you.
It's the stupid people that get the airtime. You notice that?
I can't. Well, yeah, because other people just living life. It's always the stupid people that make the headlines. But it's like these dogs. I can't tell you how many stories I read about these children that have been attacked and or killed sometimes by certain breeds of dogs.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, he'd never done anything like that. Don't leave kids unattended around dogs. Any of them. Because kids have to be taught how to interact with animals.
Yeah.
And it's just like cats and stuff like that. And it's like, if you've got cats or whatever, expect to be scratched from time to time. That just goes with the territory.
Yes.
Expect to never again walk through your house barefoot. But it just amazed me that this, the woman had told her father that the chicken had become aggressive with the kid. And the kid was, what did it say? How old did it say that the kid was? She must have been kind of young. Mm-hmm. That would have been the grandbaby. Anyhow, I don't know. It didn't say how old the daughter had been as far as the grandbaby. But enough to where the mother had enough sense to protect the daughter, but unfortunately...
But not the dad?
The father...
She wanted him... She had a vendetta. She wanted him gone.
No, she wanted to get rid of the thing, and he said she should have just gotten rid of it herself. There's ways to take care of such situations.
Baseball bat? She could have wrung it.
It's called Sunday dinner.
She could, yeah.
Yeah.
There's multiple ways.
There's multiple ways to harvest those. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hatchet is one of the preferable ways. Yeah. Mm. I've seen that done lots. So, that's your what the fuck file today. So if you make it through the day and you've not been attacked or killed by a chicken, you've done well.
We've done good for all these years.
Mm-hmm.
I've
Yeah. You've not been killed by a rooster. You've done good. Maybe because we're...
I've been ambushed by donkeys.
Well, that's a totally different story. Maybe because we occasionally are educational and shit, maybe people will be encouraged to go out and learn some basic first aid. I'll just let him bleed out.
Who lets someone bleed out from a fucking chicken?
It's like he's bleeding. He won't stop bleeding. And honestly,
Put something on it.
That had escaped.
Do something about it.
That had escaped me till you said that. And I'm like, damn, I should have thought of that. Final thoughts.
That's it.
If you've had experiences with the paranormal or supernatural, encounters with UFOs, aliens, cryptids, oh God, don't let the chickens bring you down. Send us an email, cupofcoffeewithscream@gmail.com. Link to the article will be in the description box.
There's a rooster joke somewhere.
Oh, I'm sure there's many of them. I'm sure there's many. I just don't got
the brain capacity to think of any
right now. Our backdrop today, that would have been my solution to this situation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do your spiel.
If you like this video, don't forget to like, share, comment, and most of all, subscribe and click that notification button for daily notifications of our daily uploads. Okay, it's time for dinner!
Yeah, get you some of those little crackers, those little oyster crackers. They work really well in soup. Mm-hmm. Know that you're loved, and Lord willing, and if the chickens don't attack, we'll see you on the next cup. Bye.